Hey everybody, welcome to SideQuest, the fourth panel, where I get into and describe the stuff that's behind the scenes of SideQuest, whether it's the creation of the comics, funny stories behind the comics, stuff that got cut out of the comics, or just, things that were interesting that happened during the creation. Quarantine Day 28. This is June 8th comic. This has Christine, my wife, Dana in real life, showing up. She was the first character that wasn't first recurring character that wasn't Jarvin Polly in the comic. Considering she's such a big part of the comic behind the scenes, like proofreading it, because literally the comics would be people would just be reading them to find all my spelling mistakes. So she helps me with that, helps me with the promotion a lot. Helps me if you've met me at a comic show, you've met my wife. And the majority of the comics, are between us. You know what I mean? That we've come up with. This is another one, the truest of true stories. Got my bourbon bottle, thanks to my brother-in-law. Got my bourbon bottle. So, me and my brother have been working on a podcast, and we were recording one evening, and he shows me this rum bottle that he's got a bunch of dice in, and he's like, "Yeah, it's shaking the bones." I was like, at first I was like, why would you? Because I'm like, you're putting dice in a thing you can never get out. And then he explained, he's like, no, he's like, it's an art piece. It's something cool to look at. And broken glass. It's got prisms. But like the next day I was like, man, that's a really cool, I should do that. So then I'm done with work. She's still working. She's over in the kitchen. And then she can see me like go into our liquor cabinet and picking bottles up and then walking away. And then I discovered that Boone County, the neck is perfect to fit a D20 down. If it fits a D20, it can fit anything else in it. And I didn't want to use hers, but she's like, my brother probably has one. And so my brother-in-law, thank you, gifted me a bottle of Boone County so I can be a huge nerd and put old dice in it. These are actually dice that we used to play with. Some of these are pretty beat up, Some of these are, but it's cool. It's a cool, like my brother. It's freaking cool ass art piece. And listen to the Scattered cast. I'll link it. But yeah, this is a true story. My mother-in-law actually defended me to Dana and said, my son-in-law is not a nerd, but she wasn't this harsh to me. But you got to punch it up a little bit. You got to be like, it's going to be a funny joke, So, and I can take it. But yeah, true story. And I even kind of drew the bourbon bottle, like the Boone County. It's got a little bit longer of a neck, like a little genie bottle. But yeah. And it was very, not hard, but it's one of those things that's kind of like all the time spent on getting his thumbs, because those are his hands that are playing video games. So it's making his thumbs go behind the bottle, and give it that translucent kind of look. So it's not just like, no thumbs all of a sudden, because he's holding a glass bottle. Day 30, another true story. So we were watching In Her Shoes. And I do this for some reason where normal human movies, and I say normal human movies being things that take place in a normal period of time, I don't know. It's not even a lose interest. I don't know if I can understand humans without lasers and guns and swords and magic. But I'll constantly irritate my wife, and we'll watch SVU and I'll do the same thing. Who's that guy now? You know what I mean? And so this is a hilarious story, and another writing thing of just, I wrote down just the ideas. Because sometimes like comics are created in our way of just like, that's a comic. I just need to work into 3 panels quickly. And then there's like, oh, that's a cool, like not word, but like my brother saying it's like an RPG out there. Oh, that's a cool thing. Or earlier I talked about, it may have been the last episode, about I don't know how to buy the pots. If I can hear in my mouth. but I don't know how to buy the pots. Where that's like a just something funny to say. So it's like all these different like ways to kind of, Jesus Christ. Well, I have a beard, so, but yeah. So there's all these different ways of kind of the origins of I said that kind of weird in my eyes. All these ways of kind of the origins of comics. It could be a finished, almost finished comic. It can be just something funny to put into a comic later, or it can be like a premise. And this one about In Her Shoes was like the premise was there of just that whole idea of, backseat kind of watching movies with somebody. And it's like I'm watching it, I'm not on my phone, and just like that, how can you literally, I can tell her, all these like sci-fi, Doctor Who, crazy time travel things, but yet someone switching their jobs in a romantic comedy, I'm like, why they dog walker now? I'm just totally blown away. Speaking of, so side note, this would have been a great comic, but it happened a while ago. It was Avengers Endgame, so no spoilers, but there's some time travel in it. And after the movie, I was trying to explain. I wasn't trying to explain. It sounds like I'm mansplaining. Dana had asked me some questions about it. I was explaining it to her. I explained it to her in a very condescending way on accident, though. I meant it to be helpful, but I said, do you want me to write this down for you? And I just meant like in a little timeline. But that sounds so shitty, and someone asks for help and your response is, do you want me to write it down for you? But she did get me back later because I didn't realize that her Kate Spade purse had little Spade logos on the inside of the lining. And I saw it one day and I said, oh, that's cool. There's little spades in there. And she goes, yeah, Kate Spade. And then stopped like, oh, I said that shitty. It's okay. That's the Avengers Endgame. So that would have been a cool, idea for a comic. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we will eventually. So you'll hear it here first if you watch this, that whole idea of, let me write it down for you. If this is stuff that you like and you want to know more, if you want me to start talking about something different, let me know. And if you want to know technique and style, even in the old comics, if there's one that, from the archives that you want me to talk about, hit me up. Like and subscribe. I want to get more content on SideQuest YouTube going. So, but if you like this, let me know. If there's a special comic you want me to talk about, let me know. If there's something about webcomics that you want to know, let me know. SideQuestComic.com. That's where you can find everything about the comic. We got our SideQuest comic on Instagram. We got a Facebook page, and now we're jumping into the YouTube.